Jubilees chapter 23. And he placed two of Jacob's fingers on his eyes, and he blessed the God of gods, and he covered his face, and stretched out his feet, and slept the continued sleep, and was gathered to his fathers. And notwithstanding all this, Jacob was lying in his bosom, and did not know that Abraham his father's father was dead. And Jacob awoke from his sleep, and behold, Abraham was cold as ice, and he said, Father, Father. But there was none that spoke, and he knew that he was dead. And he rose from his bosom and ran and told his mother Rebekah. And Rebekah went to Isaac in the night and told him. And they went together, and Jacob with them, and a lamp was in his hand. And when they had gone in, they found Abraham lying dead. And Isaac fell on the face of his father and wept and kissed him. And the voices were heard in the house of Abraham, and his son Ishmael arose and went to his father Abraham and wept over his father Abraham, he and all the house of Abraham, and they wept with a great weeping. And his sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the double cave near his wife Sarah. And they wept for him 40 days, all the men of his house, and Isaac and Ishmael, and all their sons, and all the sons of Keturah in their places. And the days of weeping for Abraham were ended. And he lived 3 jubilees and 4 weeks of years, 175 years, and 175 years, and completed the days of his life, being old and full of days. For the days of the forefathers of their life were 19 jubilees, and after the flood they began to grow less than 19 jubilees, and to decrease in jubilees, and to grow old quickly, and to be full of their days by reason of manifold tribulations and the wickedness of their ways, with the exception of Abraham. For Abraham was perfect in all his deeds with the Lord, and was in well pleasing in righteousness all the days of his life. And behold, he did not complete 4 jubilees in his life, when he had grown old by reason of the wickedness in the world, and was full of his days. And all the generations which will arise from this time unto the day of great judgment will grow old quickly before they complete 2 jubilees, and their knowledge will forsake them by reason of their old age. And in those days, if a man lives for a jubilee and a half of years, they will say regarding him, he has lived long, and the greater part of his days are pain, and sorrow, and tribulation, and there is no peace. For calamity follows on calamity, and wound on wound, and tribulation on tribulation, and evil tidings on evil tidings, and sickness on sickness, and all evil judgments such as these, with one another sickness, and overthrow, and snow, and frost, and ice, and fever, and chills, and torpor, and famine, and death, and sword, and captivity, and all kinds of calamities and pain. And all these will come on an evil generation, which transgression on the earth. Their works are uncleanness, and fornication, and pollution, and abominations. Then they will say, the days of the forefathers were many, even to 1,000 years, and were good. But behold, the days of our life, if a man has lived many, are 60 years and 10, and if he is strong, 80 years, and those are evil, and there is no peace in the days of this evil generation. And in that generation the sons will convict their fathers and their elders of sin and of unrighteousness, and of the words of their mouth, and the great wickedness which they perpetrate, and concerning their forsaking the covenant which the Lord made between them and him, that they should observe and do all his commands and his ordinances and all his laws, without departing either to the right hand or to the left. For all have done evil, and every mouth speaks iniquity, and all their works are an uncleanness and abomination, and all their ways are pollution, uncleanness, and destruction. Behold, the earth will be destroyed on account of all their works, and there will be no seed of the vine and no oil, for their works are altogether faithless. And they will all perish together, beasts and cattle and birds and all the fish of the sea, on account of the children of men. And they will strive with one another, the young with the old, and the old with the young, the poor with the rich, and the lowly with the great, and the beggar with the prince, on account of the law and the covenant. For they have forgotten command and covenant and feast and months and Sabbaths and jubilees and all judgments. And they will stand with bows and with swords and war to turn them back into the way. But they will not return until much blood has been shed on the earth by one another. And those who have escaped will not return from their wickedness to the way of the righteousness, but they will all exalt themselves to the sea in wealth, that they may each take all that is his neighbor's, and they will name the great name, but not in truth and not in righteousness. And they will defile the Holy of Holies with their uncleanness and the corruption of their pollution. And a great punishment will befall the deeds of this generation from the Lord. And he will give them over to the sword, into judgment, into captivity, and to be plundered and devoured. And he will wake up against them the sinners of the nations who have neither mercy nor compassion, and who will respect the persons of none, neither old nor young, nor anyone, for they are more wicked and strong to do evil than all the children of men. And they will use violence against Israel and transgression against Jacob, and much blood will be shed on the earth, and there will be none to gather and none to bury. In those days they will cry aloud and call and pray that they may be saved from the hands of the sinners, the nations, but none will be saved. And the heads of the children will be white with gray hair, and a child of 3 weeks will appear old like a man of 100 years. And their statue will be destroyed by tribulation and oppression. And in those days the children will begin to study the laws, and to seek the commands, and to return to the path of righteousness. And the days will begin to grow many and increase among those children of men until their days draw near to 1,000 years, and to a greater number of years than were the numbers of the days before. And there will be no old man, nor one who is not satisfied with his days, or for all will be as children and youths. And they will complete all their days and live in peace and enjoy, and there will be no adversary, nor any evil destroyer, for all their days will be days of blessing and healing. And at that time the Lord will heal his servants, and they will rise up and see great peace and drive out their adversaries. And the righteous will see and be thankful and rejoice with joy forever and ever, and will see all their judgments and all their curses on their enemies. And their bones will rest in the earth, and their spirits will have much joy, and they will know that it is the Lord who executes judgment and show mercy to hundreds and thousands, and to all that love him. And you, Moses, write down these words, for thus are they written, and they record them on the heavenly tablets for a testimony for the generations forever.